start now. Hi, and welcome to the Tools for Success webinar hosted by Student Services. I'm happy you all could join me today. My name is Manal White, and I am here to provide you with information about how you can be successful in your studies here at Johns Hopkins University. Advanced Academic Programs, or AAP. Before I get started with the webinar, please refrain from shouting out your questions during the duration of the webinar. Send your questions via chat, and I will answer them at designated points throughout the webinar. AAP is truly a global community with students from 47 states and 42 countries. 26% of our students are international students. Updated statistics from August show that our student body population is composed of 56% female and 44% male identifications. Most of our students are working professionals, some of them even being Johns Hopkins staff or faculty members. Here at AAP, we understand the struggles of juggling work and course loads. This presentation is focused on supporting this diverse population and teaching you strategies you can use to be successful in your courses and your professional life. This is a quick rundown of how to be successful. Don't worry, this is not the entirety of the webinar. This webinar will remind you about what resources are available to you as a student, why you should advocate for yourself, how to communicate clearly, and time management tips and tools. At the end of the presentation, I will also discuss study strategies for exams and how to organize your research paper more efficiently. I will start by reminding you what student resources are available to you here at AAP. If you already know about these resources, bear with me, but if you don't, this is a good reminder, it's a good refresher to know what we have for you. So first of all, I would like to talk about advising. Advisors are subject matter experts in your program and will help guide you throughout your time here at AAP. Advisors connect their students with campus resources and help students navigate curriculum, program, and concentration requirements. They help students with selecting and registering for courses, as well as petitioning for course substitutions and overloads. They can give you the best advice for what classes to take to meet your goals and are knowledgeable about career opportunities in your field. To be able to establish the advisor-advisee relationship effectively, students should regularly check their Johns Hopkins email, correspond from your Johns Hopkins email, and become knowledgeable about university policies and procedures. Meet deadlines and ask questions. Please ask questions if expectations are unclear. Always be in constant communication with your advisor because you will want them to be able to provide you with recommendation letters to advance your career in the future. Many times, students who need accommodations, like extra time on exams or occasional extensions, are afraid to disclose their disability for fear of a stigma. Students with cognitive, chronic health, psychiatric, physical, hearing, or vision conditions should contact disability support services so that they can protect their rights to legal permanent accommodations to provide the opportunity for success in their classes. Flare-ups of conditions like Crohn's or ADHD or anxiety can really affect a student's progress in their class. Registering for accommodations allows these students to have extensions or additional time on their exams when exacerbations of symptoms occur. I'm sorry for that delay. I lost track of what I was saying. Sorry. Disability Support Services also provides digital note takers, highlighters, text-to-speech software to help students with their studies. When students disclose their conditions to the Disability Support Office, the coordinator will ensure that conditions and documentation remains confidential. Instructors will receive a letter stating accommodations that the university has approved for the entirety of the student's educational career at Johns Hopkins. Accommodations do not carry over and must be requested at the start of each term. Instructors will not give students accommodations without a letter sent from the disability support officer, as it would be at a disadvantage to the student if accommodations they receive from one instructor is not honored by another. Please contact the disability coordinator, or in this case me, if you have a health condition and need consistent accommodations for your courses. It's your legal right, so protect it. The Sheridan Library is accessible from all 3 campuses and online. The library possesses over 3.8 million books, a million yearbooks, newspapers, and hundreds of databases. The circulation desk can mail you books. If you need to use the databases on the Sheridan page while off campus, you can connect to JPulse to establish a connection to the library. If you need assistance finding relevant resources or for assignments, please email or call the librarians. They can help you the best with what resources they have. The library also holds sync sessions to help students get a leg up on their coursework or to become a better researcher. You can click on the sync sessions link over here to register for the upcoming library online workshops, or click on past recordings to learn about researching techniques. A couple of you have stated that you have had issues with learning different writing and citation styles in the registration form for this webinar. The next 2 upcoming online workshops would be best for you because they are both dedicated to teaching students how to use tools to make citations easier, so you don't have to go through it yourself and manually cite your papers. And then you won't have to worry about missing periods or grammar issues or wrong formatting. RefWorks is one of the many tools that can help you with citations. In a separate section of this webinar, I will also show you how Microsoft Word can create your citations for you. I'll also go over organization tools and grammar tools. Some of you have also stated that you are trying to get into the groove of being an online student. There is support for you in case you have issues with Blackboard or my JHU portal. We are committed to providing academic and technical support to ensure an engaging and successful online learning experience. We have a 24-hour helpline available via chat or telephone for any Blackboard issues you run into. We strongly encourage you to bookmark the support page. You can also submit the issue through the IT portal support form. If you did not already know, we provide free software like Microsoft Word. In my JHU portal, you can look up free software available to you. Hover over the Technology tab, click on My Software, and go to the catalog link. There's lots there. The Johns Hopkins Student Assistance Program is a life management resource that can help you identify and manage challenging issues in healthy ways. JSAP services are free and confidential, and there is no limit to the number of times you may access these services during your academic career. Your spouse, partner, or child may also access JSAP services. JSAP offers a variety of services including short-term counseling, crisis response, healthy relationship support, school life coaching and adjustment, and educational workshops. JSAP is available 24/7, and you can request a phone appointment or an in-person appointment if you live in Baltimore, DC. But online students can definitely use this resource because they are always available, and there's someone on staff 24/7. AAP Career Services offers one-on-one career coaching, workshops, and webinars, opportunities to network with employers, and more to help students reach their professional goals. Handshake is an online platform which helps students find meaningful careers and matches students to recruitment opportunities, which serves our students all over the world. Students who are interested in professional development, like some of you have noted in the registration form, should sign up for the webinars and workshops, most of which are live streamed, and networking opportunities through the AAP website or Handshake. This is a list of student services contact information that will connect you to the right people who can help you with questions regarding registration, course planning, career development, financial aid, disability services, and more. We are here to support our students and are always happy to hear from you. If you aren't sure of who to ask, you can also contact the Student Services team at AAP Student Services at JHU.edu. We are located on the Washington, D.C. campus in Suite 104. Some of you noted that you would like to learn more about the resources Student Services provides to online students. We're constantly evolving to serve you better and to make you feel at home in our Johns Hopkins community. The surveys we have sent out and this webinar have been in efforts to see how we can best serve you and how to progress. To stay up to date on Student Services happenings, be sure to check out the monthly newsletter. In October, we are putting on events on each of our campuses, including online, to give students a chance to tell us about their experience and how we can add to it. The events across the 3 physical campuses and the online campus allow students to chat with each other and ask student service representatives questions in real time and address what students want to see on all of our campuses. Before I move on, do you have any questions about the resources I have gone over? I know a lot of you have already been preached about the resources, but it's a good reminder. Any questions? In the chat window? So you can access the alumni network through JHU. Let me show you actually. And Handshake should also help you with accessing alumni network. So gohoponline.com allows you to connect with the alumni network. It's a social media platform. You can connect via LinkedIn, Facebook. That's probably the best way. The other ways would be through career services and through, career services and Handshake, which is career services. Did that answer your question, Brian? Okay, wonderful. Any other questions before I continue? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, now that we got through all the resources available to you through advanced academic programs, here are some communication tips that will help you become successful in your educational and professional careers. The ability to communicate effectively is an essential skill in today's world. Communication is a dynamic process, and how you communicate can positively and negatively affect the relationships you have in your work and your life. Firstly, and most importantly, you will need to learn how to advocate for yourself as a student. Knowing what resources are available to you and knowing what is to be expected from faculty and staff supporting you is the first step. Remember that your professor instructor is a great resource to turn to when you are not understanding class content. Do not be afraid to ask for clarity. Their role is to teach you the class material. They say that knowledge is power, and in this case, it will help you succeed in your classes and in your professional lives. Students who do not learn self-advocacy skills are more likely to settle and glide through their courses. This does not help students achieve goals. If you learn how to problem solve and communicate effectively, you will be able to seek and utilize resources that will help you reach higher success rates in your education and in your professional lives. To do this, expand your resource network and work on challenging yourselves to achieve higher goals. Many students are wary of online courses because they are afraid that they will lose the contact they need with the instructors to fully learn. Communicating in an online class is different than it is in a classroom setting, but it is not less important. In fact, good communication in an online class is going to be one of the key factors for success. Keep in mind that if you are not communicating, and this includes participating in discussion board threads, your instructor has no way of knowing whether you are engaged with the material. Make sure you actively participate regularly. If something comes up causing you to post an assignment or discussion thread late, email your instructor as soon as possible. Instructors will typically include information on the best ways to contact them in their syllabus. This is crucial. Some of the most common ways to communicate with your instructors are through email and discussion boards, although some will choose to host webinars and communicate via telephone. Make sure to follow these steps when composing an email or discussion board post. If all your written correspondence is concise, appropriate, explained clearly and logically while maintaining good grammar, you will receive better results. I have said this several times, and I will repeat myself one more time. Please check your Johns Hopkins email daily to maintain good communication patterns. In an online class, your written communication is the primary way you present yourself. To make sure that you come off clear and respectful, there are some important things to keep in mind. Please avoid being informal or composing a letter as you would compose a text message. Does anyone have any questions about communication before I move forward? Oh, no questions about communication? And continue. The most important resource you will receive in each of your classes is your syllabus. I recommend saving it to your desktop every semester so that it is easily accessible if you have a question regarding your assignments, schedules, or how to contact your instructors. Your class syllabus is a written contract between you and your instructor. It gives you an overview of the class and its breakdown. You can refer to it in regards to policies, resources, and your instructor's expectations, which will allow you to be successful in the class. When you have questions about where you stand in the class or how much a certain assignment will impact your grade, you can refer to the syllabus and calculate the possibilities. Of course, life happens and assignments may be added or reduced depending on the pace of the class. However, your syllabus will always be the best reference for your class. Life is ongoing and does not stop for assignments. One of the major struggles of being a graduate student is learning how to manage your time. Between family, work, and school, students have to figure out how to prioritize and juggle their many responsibilities. It usually takes a couple weeks to get the hang of a schedule and figuring out what works best for you. However, I will explain how to best figure out how to prioritize and give tips and tools to best manage your time. Always remember that you have to make time for yourself as well. Take at least an hour a day to decompress and relax. Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits of the Highly Effective Person, developed a time management matrix to help with prioritizing activities. You may find this useful to help you plan your online coursework. For an example of how to use this, use chat and give me 2 examples of something you have to do this week. Then write a dash and tell me where you think this fits into this chart. I'll start. I need to do laundry, and I need to send out a survey about this webinar by tomorrow. Depending on how bad my laundry situation is, it could fit into quadrants 2 or 4. Today it would only fit into quadrant 4. Sending out the survey would fit more into quadrant 1. All right, now it's your turn. So is the chapter part of the discussion board? Okay, what's another one? Give me one more thing you need to do. Oh, no. Sorry, you said no. Now I understand. So where do you think the chapter comes in? Okay, so chapter response isn't due till Saturday, so I would say it's important but not urgent. So that's quadrant 2. Your discussion post is quadrant 1, correct? Okay, anyone else? And what about another one, Ahmed? Okay, fair enough. And John, I saw you were about to type something. As do I, but if you could see in the background, I'm a little crippled right now, so for me working out would probably not be a good idea. Alright, I will move on since only a couple of you wanted to share. Here are some more tips to best manage your time. You should start studying 2 days before a test to really absorb all the information you learned. Okay, let me say at least 2 days before a test. If you start studying a week before, kudos to you, and that would probably be the best strategy, but really set aside 2 days before the test. If you use flashcards to study, I recommend using the first day to make all the flashcards and the second day to make sure all the flashcards are memorized. Also, make sure you break down writing your papers over a course of 2 to 3 days so that you are not rushing to complete it. So let's say you have like a 12-page paper, either write 4 pages over 3 days or 6 pages each day, and that should help you break it down better and also revise it. If you finish your paper early, you can even send it to 3 people, including your instructor, to look over your work and help you make edits. Take 10-minute breaks between studying and writing every hour so you don't lose focus. I tell this to all my students, especially students like me with ADHD. You need that 10 minutes every hour so that you can retrain your mind and refocus into what you're doing, or else you'll go into zombie mode. Limit your time on social media and video streaming. I promise you, Game of Thrones can wait. Again, take care of yourself. Designate an hour or so, or an hour a day for yourself. Maybe take off Friday nights for social time. Exercise, as we were discussing, we all needed to do earlier. These tips will help you stay focused and absorb information. I know these tips are easier said than done, believe me. Working full-time does not allow for much downtime. Weekends are the main designated days for schoolwork to get accomplished. However, some students have children who they dedicate their weekends to. What about family time? The answer is really about learning to schedule your time to allow for a 3-hour trip to take the kids to the pumpkin patch or apple picking. It's about taking advantage of every moment that you have some free time to edit that pesky Blackboard response due by Sunday. Some of you have indicated that you have to travel a lot for work. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the traveling portion of your work trip and get your books on audio. Or use your computers or pens, because there are softwares on pens and smartwatches that will read your books to you while you're traveling, while you are traveling. Sorry. If you are flying by plane, take advantage of it. Take advantage of that travel time by finishing your responses. You can still type, so take advantage of it. You don't have to pay for the Wi-Fi or the go-go in-flight or whatever. Just start writing or editing. Always let your instructors know what's going on regarding your work schedule or when things come up. Many of your professors only teach part-time, so they'll understand. If you are working full-time and taking classes, please limit how many classes you are taking. You do not want to put too much on your plate. So I was in the same boat as y'all when I was in graduate school. I did an accelerated program and worked full-time. I had to ask for an incomplete to finish writing my thesis because I could not keep up with 12 credits a semester, writing a thesis, and full-time work. What worked best for me was designating weekends as my readings or / note-taking sessions or days. I read ebooks and had Word split screen on my computer so that I could take notes more efficiently. Sometimes I copied and pasted quotes from the ebook to the Word document or my note-taking software. I would start drafts of my papers using the notes, and I would designate weeknights for writing / revising my papers. I was fortunate to have coworkers in my suite who were English majors or part-time instructors who would look over my papers and help me edit them. Of course, I also used my instructors and advisors to help me as well. If I was done early enough, my instructors were fine with looking over my papers. Any downtime or lunch break I had at work was designated to writing and reviewing. I even had audiobooks on while I was exercising. It kept my mind focused while I was running or doing weightlifting. sorry. But for kickboxing, that would not work, or any workout class. I still had time for a social life because I set aside time to have a getaway, weekend trip, or work from a hotel or the beach. I set aside time for going to Busch Gardens because at the time I was going to Women. Not that that matters. I played audiobooks while working out, which I already said, sorry. My life was very regimented, but it was helpful and kept me focused. It's easy to get wrapped up in life and lose track of deadlines or appointments. It's normal. That is why syncing up and using a calendar that will alert the devices you utilize every day can be helpful. If you have an iPhone or an Android phone, put all your deadlines for assignments and test dates in your iOS or Google Calendar at the beginning of the semester. Color code it to match your classes and set reminders at least 2 days in advance to begin with. So let's say you have a paper due on Wednesday. Set aside the timer or the reminder on Monday and color code it. So let's say it's a counterterrorism class. Color code it like purple or something that will remind you that it's for, you have a paper due in counterterrorism, so you could just look at the color. You can have multiple reminders for that paper or test. Then break up your day before a major exam or assignment into scheduled study sessions for yourself. This will help you manage your time, and it will sync across all your devices, such as your computer and smartwatch if you have one, and phone. If you are not that tech savvy, the daily planner or printing out a desk calendar listing the same information will work just as well. Applications like Google Keep and OneNote can be useful in setting up to-do lists for each class, and they will also sync across all your devices. I also recommend OneNote as a virtual binder for note-taking for all your classes each semester. Creating a distraction-free zone is key to being able to focus and study effectively. It's important to find a place that works for you. Think about where you can focus best. Some people prefer a completely silent atmosphere, so studying in a library would work the best. Others need ambient noise, so a coffee shop may be better for them. Wherever you study best, I would encourage you to try to carve out a specific time each week to go to that place and have your class time. Make an effort to unplug and reduce temptation. It may seem small, but try not to have your phone right by you while you're studying. Or at least turn it over. Pretend you're in class and shut your phone off. These are other tools that you can use to manage your distraction from your computer. You could use cold turkey that will block certain programs, especially social media feeds. Self-control is a Mac application that can help you avoid distracting websites. My homework will also help you schedule your assignments. Other apps are Remember the Milk, Rescue Time, Focus Booster. Timers would work really well, and mind mapping apps, which I'll talk about later. Are there any questions about time management before I move on to study strategies? Oh, sorry. You worked better on the plane? Yep. I used to do very well on a plane. Communicating your work schedule with your instructor. Oh, yeah, the instructors are most of our instructors are part-time. So they will understand if something came up with work and you might have to turn something in like an hour late. They're usually really good about flexibility. It's really not there anymore? I don't have a Mac with me right now, so I have a full list of apps I could send to you guys later if you're interested. Just email me and I'll send you a full list of apps. Okay, wonderful. Any other questions? I had not heard of Monday.com. That looks like a really good tool, Tahira. Is it free? I've been trying to just give you guys free stuff. Nope, it's not free. But I've been trying to give you guys free tools. But if you're interested in that, definitely go for it. Anything that helps. Continue. Okay. I know that some graduate programs do not involve tests, but for those that do, here are some proven successful study habits. Since most people do not have photographic memory, everyone must find their own strategy to memorizing information. Writing the same information over and over again helps with memory retention. It is a scientific fact that redrawing graphs and rewriting your notes will help with muscle memory so that you can retain information better. Most people need to break up the information to memorize efficiently. Like I stated before, I have ADHD, so when I was a student, flashcards worked best for me. I would write all the bolded terms from the chapter for an exam on one side of the flashcard, and either the description or the diagram or whatever on the back, and memorize them. I took a day to make all my flashcards and 2 days to memorize them by quizzing myself. If I didn't get the card right, I'd put it on the bottom of the stack. If I knew all the information on the back of the card without hesitation, I would take the card out and put it in a discard stack. I would continue quizzing myself until I had it all memorized to the point of no hesitation. Obviously, you don't have to do this. That was just my strategy that worked for me. It made me confident when tests came around. There are flashcard apps that make that even easier, but that didn't work for me because rewriting the material is better for memorizing than just copying and pasting it into an app. Find what works best for you. There are tons of different tools out there to help you study. I just suggest break up the material the best way you can to help retain the information. Some people make up songs about it. That didn't work for me, but if that helps you, if that works for you, that works for you. Studying does not have to be a solitary event. It's actually better when you study with other people with different perspectives and strengths. A peer may be able to explain a topic that has been confusing you. Whether you are in an online course or an in-person course, there are ways to have successful study group sessions. Skype, Google Hangouts, or Adobe Connect, like this webinar, study sessions with your peers would allow you to share ideas and study together virtually. Google Docs will also allow your group to create a good study guide with classmate input. When you're teaching someone, it's reiterating the information to you, so that also helps with studying. Also, do not forget the usual ways for preparing for an exam. Take breaks, don't skip meals, and have a good night's sleep before the exam. Some of you have stated that you needed help with learning citation in your registration form. So I added this writing tip section. Earlier, I stated that I would show you how Microsoft Word will generate your citations and bibliography in the best format for you. I will also show you some other free tools that will help you with writing your paper. However, please attend the RefWorks seminar with the library if you want a better tool than just Microsoft. I personally have never used RefWorks, and can only show you tricks with Microsoft. So when I was in high school, they taught us how to use index cards to organize a research paper. I would basically put a quote from a book on the line side and the theme of the quote on the blank side of the index card. I would also write a number at the top of the index card on both sides that would match to a source card that had the information of the source, like the author, title, year, and etc., so I could keep my sources straight. When I was finished researching my topic, I would group all the index cards by theme, which would end up being the theme of each paragraph of my paper. Some people use Word to do this. So they would make the themes as headers of each page and then copy and paste quotes into them. And that could work for you. Technology has come a long way since then. So instead of doing these archaic methods, there are databases that will help you organize your quotes and sources so much easier and better. Zotero and EndNote are offered by the library and will better help you organize your notes. The library just ran a live streamed workshop on EndNote this past Monday, and I have provided the link to it if you would like to know more about EndNote. Microsoft Access is a database in your Microsoft suite that one of my advisors used to use for his research articles and books. And Mac has a FileMaker app, but that's not free. Many students do use mind mapping tools, and Lucidchart and Coggle are two free ones you can use. And this is an example of a mind mapping chart. You can use Google Drive to create files and run a spreadsheet of all your sources so that it is accessible anywhere and can be shared to collaborate with your peers. So if you're writing a paper and want someone to edit it, put it in Google Drive and they can edit it and you can see all the edits. Due to the vast capabilities of modern day technology and research methods, research methods have evolved tremendously. Now there are websites, databases, and softwares that will help you create your bibliographies and citations. It creates your footnotes for you as well. It is under the Reference tab on the top banner of Microsoft Word. First thing you have to do is click Manage Sources, and Microsoft will have you filling out forms for each source you are using in your paper. If you'd like me to walk you through it, please just type yes in the chat window now, because I can show you how to use it. Okay. Yes, it does have a Word and Chrome plugin. I've never used it, but it looks like it has really good reviews and is a great reference for a lot of students. And if it's a Chrome plugin, that's really good for if you write your papers on your Google Drive. Oh, that's cool. So I'll show you something, I guess, not as easy as a Toro, but you would just, let's say you are an MLA major and you have to do Chicago. You would go to Style, you'd press Chicago. For science I believe is APA, and MLA is for like writing. And some historians like Turibian over Chicago, but most of the time for MLA sources it's Chicago. So you would press on Manage Your Sources, you would press New, and let's say, say this is your book. Sorry for the nerdiness, this is just the first book in front of me. So the author is George R. Martin. Title, Dance with Dragons. I think this is 2011. Okay. New York City Random House. So you press that. You copy there to the current list. Your master list will always save all your sources, so you'll always have them from every paper you write. There will always be a master list, so if you use a source again, you could just copy it to your current list. Okay, let's say I quote something, or let's say I'm going to make a bookmark, but I'm just going to not quote anything because that will take too long. You can go to insert, insert footnote, and then insert citation, and it'll cite for you in Chicago format if you're doing footnotes. If any citation you need, it'll just do it for you. And if you want a bibliography, it'll generate your bibliography for you. Let's say references. It's really helpful if you're using Word to write your paper. But again, Zotero has a Word plugin, and it saves all the websites and stuff for you, so you don't have to manually put it in through managed sources. So that would be very helpful as well. And my pleasure. Okay, now you can find EasyBib and RefWorks on the library's website that I have provided a link on the bottom of the screen. Grammarly is also a great free tool that will assist you with checking for grammar. You could download it for Chrome and as an app, as an extension for Chrome and as an app. If you are taking classes on the Homewood campus or happen to be able to go to Homewood campus, you can use their Writing Center as well. You can email me afterwards for that information if you'd like. Do you have any questions for me before we end our webinar today? Remember, I'll be sending out a survey to all of you who showed up today. Please fill it out for feedback on what parts of the presentation was helpful, what parts were redundant or not helpful, and what you'd recommend I add to that presentation. Anyone want to see what Grammarly can do for you? Anything? Sure? Okay. Okay, sorry, I haven't signed up yet because I haven't used it in a long time. Say, I'll actually put on a piece that I've written before. Actually, it might be better for me to. informed, knowledgeable audience, kind of informal, strong. Okay. So this is my speech. It's really informal, but it shows me how to make my speech better. Like that. Okay. Total. Any other questions for me before I let you guys go and enjoy your Thursday evening? Or afternoon for some of you? My pleasure. You're welcome, Hadi and Joan. John Jones, sorry. I'll add that to my next webinar. How about that? Pro-writing. I haven't heard of that. I'll look into it. Is it pro-writing aid or just pro-writing? Oh, you can try it for free. Okay. But you can try it for free, so that's good. Yeah. Honestly, whatever app helps you, if it's paid, if it's free, whatever helps you. This is all about what works best for you. I'm just giving you guys tips to help enhance your educational experience. Of course, you don't have to take my advice, but just telling you what's proven and whatnot. That's very true. It's all about drawbacks. So it's like, let's say it's like a gym membership where if